Divided state of America news now. And last week, Andy, I pointed out that every single US election ends with just under 50% of the population absolutely devastated. And that has proven to be even more true this week, as apparently more than 100,000 Americans have petitioned the White House to ask that their states be allowed to secede from the Union after the re-election of Barack Obama. Wow, and that's not just sour grapes. Those grapes are so sour, they are a functioning vinegar at this point. The appeals were filed on the White House's We the People website, which guarantees any petition an official White House response as long as they can gather 25,000 signatures. And giving the American people a website like that, Andy, is like giving a child a tambourine. They can't be trusted with it, and they're going to make an ungodly noise. And now, 100,000 signatures may sound like a lot protesting the president, until you remember that just last week, the US had 60 million people vote in favour of him. So that should take the sting off it a little bit.
A lot of people have got very, very angry about this, John, including a pregnant wife who ran over her husband for not voting for Romney. She said she was so angry at the prospect of Obama staying in office and her husband not bothering to vote for Romney that she ran him over with a car. Now, I love democracy big time, John. I really, really love it. But I try not to let it intrude on my marriage too much. And besides, that is the first thing you learn when you're learning to drive a car is do not run people over in a fury about their politics.
Well, also, I don't know the couple involved personally, Andy. Let me say that straight away. But I have to believe that might be displacement frustration for other issues in that relationship. I don't believe that was a healthy marriage up to the point that he did not vote for Romney.
And a Florida man committed suicide after the election and left a note on his body saying, "Do not revive Obama," which, well, what a way to peg out that is. I mean, I think that is taking it too hard, John. Mm-hmm.
Well, most of the 20 states with petitions for secession voted for Republican Mitt Romney, I guess, unsurprisingly. And the Texas petition has already reached the 25,000 signature mark, at which point the White House promises a response. And it must be very tempting indeed for them to respond, "All right, off then." I mean, that is the kind of temptation I would definitely not be able to resist. And I guess that's one of the many reasons that I am not in politics. In response to some of this madness, other people in Texas have tried to go a different way. Because while Texas is petitioning to secede from the Union, Austin, Texas is petitioning to secede from Texas itself. Their official petition states, "We petition the Obama administration to peacefully grant the city of Austin, Texas, to withdraw from the state of Texas and remain part of the United States." I'm not even sure that the rest of Texas would even put up much of a fight over that either. And the petition goes on to say, "Austin, Texas continues to suffer difficulties stemming from the lack of civil, religious and political freedoms imposed upon the city by less liberally minded Texans. It is entirely feasible for Austin to operate as its own state within the United States in the event that Texas is successful in the current bid to secede. It's important for Austin to remain in the Union, as to do so would protect its citizens' standard of living and re-secure their rights and liberties in accordance with the original ideas and beliefs of our founding fathers. We would also like to annex Dublin, Texas, Lockhart, Texas, and China, Texas." Going on to say, "Seriously, you people have no fucking idea what it's like living down here. We need help fast."
Well, they could do just Texas for Puerto Rico on a kind of one out, one in basis, couldn't they?
For some people, the reason to want to secede comes from a very personal frustration. The petition for Alabama's secession was started by a man called Derek Belcher. And believe me, you do not need to see him to know that his name fits his face. His petition has also already crossed the 25,000 signature mark. He is furious and blames the federal government for shutting down his former business, which is apparently a topless car wash. And that is not a car wash specialising in top-down convertibles, Andy. It's a car wash specialising in top-down ladies. It was apparently a successful business in Mobile, Alabama, until he was arrested and charged with obscenity in 2001. He said, "The government ripped my business away, and now they're choking America to death with rules and regulations." I guess there's a couple of things that Senor Belcher is getting a little confused about in his anger, Andy. One, that Obama was not president in 2001. And two, that all those cars that came to be washed by his whapped-out women all drove there on government-funded roads. But you know what? I'm gonna leave it there, Andy, because, and I cannot stress this enough, I have no desire to get into an argument with a topless car wash owner called Derek Belcher.
Again.